few out of tune words or maybe a couple of bad notes on your guitar solo. Now let's finish up this section by looking at bouncing, which is the process of recording a number of tracks onto another track. With the process of bouncing, you really have unlimited tracks within your DP-004. Press the dedicated record mode button up here. Okay, so here's the deal. The DP-004 can be in any one of these 4 different modes. It fires up in its default mode, which is multi-track recording. I'll execute that. This means that any armed track just records the input that is assigned to it, and you merely hear or monitor the other tracks in order to play along with them. Now if we go back to record mode here and select bounce, this is a different thing. In bounce mode, any armed track here will record the playback of any of these tracks whose level is up. Do you see how we have unlimited tracks here? Now, on a traditional 4-track recorder, you would need to have an open track to bounce onto. In other words, you would bounce tracks 1, 2, and 3 onto an empty track 4. Seeing the DP-004 is a completely digital recorder, it does some kind of cool voodoo in the background to allow you to record all 4 tracks onto a single track if you want the result to be in mono, or 2 tracks if you want the result to be in stereo. So why wouldn't you always just do it with stereo? Well, that just burns 2 tracks and then you'd only have 2 free for new recordings. But obviously you'd have a fuller mix because you could pan your bounce tracks out within the stereo field. And that would be good, but then you'd only have 2 tracks left. Bounce in mono, then you have 3 tracks left, but all of your bounce tracks would just be married together in one mono track with just one pan position. It's really your call. Just arm the tracks you want to bounce to, then any tracks that are brought up, their levels are brought up, will be recorded onto these armed tracks, or just a single track if you like. That means that you can record up to 4 tracks into a single track or 2 tracks if you want to do that stereo. Now, just make sure to change back to multi-track recording afterwards. In other words, go into record mode, go back to multi-track and execute that. Otherwise, any new recordings will record your open tracks rather than just monitoring them. So your typical multi-track recording setup, any arm track will just record what's assigned to that track. If you want to bounce, go over here and anything that's up will record onto that arm track. Keep that in mind. If you're doing some new recordings and your new tracks have unexpected stuff on them, chances are that you're still in bounce mode. Going back to regular multi-track mode will get you back in line. By the way, when you power down the DP-004 and then power it back up, it will revert to that multi-track mode, so you should be all square. And one thing to consider when bouncing. Wouldn't it be awesome to get free weekly advice from an expert in the pro audio industry? An expert who's worked with the biggest names in the business, including Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Phil Collins, Chicago, Diana Ross, Mary J. Blige, and Aretha Franklin. For a limited time, ProAudioDVDs.com has put together an entire year-long course on all the stuff you want to know. It gets delivered in high-resolution videos and articles to your email inbox every week. Oh, and get this, it's free. So, why the heck do we give away $197 of free pro audio training? That's just how we roll. I'm David Wells, and you're just minutes away from your first lesson. Go to www.proaudiodvds.com and sign up for the Pro Audio Academy. That's www.proaudiodvds.com and sign up in the little yellow box.